The studio lights burned bright, casting a dazzling glare across the polished stage of The View. The audience buzzed with restless anticipation. People knew that today's guest, Senator John Kennedy, wasn't someone who minced words. He was known for his plain-spoken charm, his folksy humor, and his ability to cut through noise with razor-sharp wit. But nobody in that room expected the clash that was about to unfold, or the way it would leave the entire country talking for weeks. The moment he stepped onto the stage, applause filled the air. Kennedy, with his calm drawl and half-smile, greeted the hosts politely. At first, it was light-hearted banter about politics, small jokes about Louisiana gumbo, even a chuckle from Whoopi Goldberg. But the air shifted when Sunny Hostin leaned forward in her chair, her eyes fixed on Kennedy with unflinching determination. "Senator," she began, her voice steady but edged with challenge, "you sit here and talk about values, but the policies you support hurt real people. How can you defend that?" The audience grew tense. A hush blanketed the room. Kennedy adjusted his tie, keeping his composure. "Well, Sonny," he said gently, "I reckon we all care about people. The difference is in how we believe we can help them best. You might think government is the answer to every problem, but where I come from, we believe people are stronger than that." Sonny wasn't having it. She cut in, raising her voice just enough to command attention. "That's not an answer, Senator. You're dodging. You're hurting communities, and you know it. Why don't you admit that?" The crowd murmured. Some clapped in agreement, others shook their heads. It was no longer a polite discussion, it was a duel. Kennedy paused, his eyes scanning the audience, then turned back to Sonny. "I've been in politics long enough to know when a question isn't really a question," he replied. "What you're doing isn't about truth, it's about theater. And I'll play along as long as we're honest. But if you want to turn this into a circus, well, I'm not your clown." The audience gasped. Whoopi raised her eyebrows, Joy shifted uncomfortably, but Sonny pressed harder, refusing to yield. She began to rattle off statistics, accusations, and criticisms, her words firing like bullets. But Kennedy didn't flinch. He leaned back in his chair, calm, almost weary. And then he said the words that would echo across television screens and social media for days to come. "You know what?" His voice was firm, not loud, but full of finality. "I'm done with this show." The audience erupted. Gasps, cheers, even boos collided in a storm of sound. Kennedy stood, buttoning his suit jacket with quiet resolve. "I came here to have a conversation. What I walked into was an ambush dressed up as journalism. I respect debate, but I won't sit here and be shouted down. America deserves better than this." He turned to the audience, giving them a nod that felt more like a farewell than a dismissal.